Robson Conceicao versus Oshaki Foster 2, the rematch, 12 rounds in the 130-pound division for the WBC belt. That was once Oshaki Foster, but now it's Robson Conceicao. He is the champion. Let's start with their respective records. Conceicao, 19 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 9 wins by way of knockout. Oshaki Foster, 22 wins, 3 losses, 12 wins by way of knockout. So we watched the first fight, right? We all saw how the fight took place and how it ultimately unfolded. I felt like it was a tale of 2 different fights. What we saw versus what the judges saw. It's kind of always like that, right? But there was a lot of controversy behind this fight. And you could tell on Oshaki Foster's face post-interview, he was very surprised at how that fight was scored and what the result ended out to be. As was I, as was many of us. Now, I don't want to put everybody in that category because there were some people who thought that Conceição won the fight. That's fair. We all see fights differently. But for those that thought Conceição won, cool. I'm on the other side of that bridge. I thought Oshaki Foster was in complete control of that fight. In hindsight, we are starting to see more and more that the judges like the person who's going to be aggressor in the fight. They like the aggressive style more than the sweet science boxing on the outside type of fight. In the first fight, I thought Oshaki Foster was boxing beautifully. I mean, boxing on the outside, using the jab, taking his time in the fight, never forcing anything, and was defensively probably the best defensive fight that I've seen of Oshaki Foster so far, because we know he's been in some previous tough, close fights before fighting Conceição. And personally, I was like, man, if Oshaki Foster just dialed in defensively a little bit better, he would beat these guys a little bit easier. I don't think I remember a round in that fight when Robson Conceicao and Oshaki Foster was fighting that Oshaki Foster was ever worried, was ever hurt, or seemed dispersed in any way, right? Like he did not seem like he was in trouble at all. But to Conceição's credit, he was throwing a whole bunch of punches. I wouldn't say all those punches were getting through cleanly, but he was throwing more than Foster in most of those rounds. I remember the Conceição versus Emmanuel Navarrete fight. You remember that fight as well, too, where it seemed like Navarrete was on his way to a easy, definitive victory. When you drop someone twice, there's a good chance that it's going to work out in your favor. But to Conceição's credit, once he got back up, he went back to simple fundamentals and did everything behind the simple 1-2, 1-2. And it was enough to keep Navarrete away from him, and he ended up outworking Navarrete because he threw more and he fought his way from a fight that it looked like he was going to lose and found his way to fight to a draw. So it just goes to show that Conceição, he's a fighter through and through. Like, this is not a guy that you are going to have an easy fight with the exception of Shakur Stevenson, right? But he's got a strong will about him. He understands that just because I may be losing a couple rounds or maybe I get dropped doesn't mean that the fight is over. As long as there is still rounds to go, then I am in this fight. Conceição does have that spirit and that heart of a champion, which he is. He's a guy that's never been stopped before. It looked like he was about to be stopped against Navarrete, but Navarrete was not able to capitalize and get it done that way. So there's a lot at stake here for both men, and particularly Foster, because he can't afford another loss on his resume, man. If he does, you know, it changes the trajectory of what's next for him. If he loses, this quite possibly be his last title fight. So he's got to make sure that he does not leave it to the judges by being more defensive in this fight. Because if he's more defensive in this fight and it looks similar to the last one, there's a good chance Conceição is going to retain the belt. So who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. You know, I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/thebreakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. You know, I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos and videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. I went with O'Shaquie Foster in the first fight. I'm still going with O'Shaquie Foster again in the second fight. I think he's going to come in with a similar game plan, but a much more aggressive execution. I think he's going to be on the front foot a little bit more. I think he's going to fight more offensively rather than defensively. I don't think he needs to get the knockout in order to get the victory, but I do think he needs to do more. And if he has Conceição hurt, he cannot back off. O'Shaquie Foster clearly can't be too defensive in this fight. He has to be aggressive. He has to let his hands go, and he's got to take calculated risk. Now, Conceição can take advantage of that if O'Shaquie Foster goes into this fight and fights too emotional. If he goes in being too emotional, he's going to leave himself open to being countered. And Conceição was a very good counter puncher. Conceição is a well-decorated amateur athlete, very good professional level. This guy is a tough fight for anybody through and through. So he is going to know how to use his opponent's momentum against them. So I like O'Shaquie Foster to win this fight by decision. A stoppage would be great for him and make it a more definitive win, but I don't think he particularly needs the stoppage as much as he needs to adjust his style from being defensive to being more aggressive and willing to throw more. I think if he can throw more, be more aggressive, I think it's going to be his fight to win. So I like O'Shaquie Foster to win this fight by decision. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. How do you think this one goes? Who do you have winning? Let me know in the comment section below. I don't always get to do all the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. Or if you would like to request a video by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle and social handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel. It will be greatly, greatly appreciated. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.